Hi, my name is Casey the Coder, Casey for short, and I wanted to propose I want to make a quick proposal for an extension to Unity Atoms, which I would like to implement. There's a bit of confusion there how I do it, but that's all stuff for later. I just wanted to propose the idea, see what you think. So, this is using the player input system, which I'm not going to explain. I hope someone is familiar. If no one is familiar, then I guess this whole suggestion is a bust. What we are going to do is we give our player a player input. Now, the player input calls like all kinds of different events based on the actions your player can take. And it always sends a callback, all these events have a callback context, which is a bit annoying because you can't really assign, a factor 2 to a different script based on your callback context. In the past, I've always made some kind of input interpreter script to handle these things. But no more, we can solve our problem using Unity Atoms. So what I have here is a player movement input context, which was named because this is for the player movement. Excuse me. It has all these things. Ignore all these for now. I'm going to explain them later. All you need to know is this variable. It's a factor 2, player movement, and this factor 2 is always updated. As we can see here, I have a callback context vector, update variable. Boom, done. Then we just assign it in our movement script. Now our movement is updated. Really simple. Okay, well, give this a second. And now we have movement. It's easily coupled, didn't really take any work. It's great stuff. What's also cool, what is cool about this callback context is that it carries a lot of useful information. Things like what controller is used to call this input, interactions, other stuff, and phases. So phases are whether the action is started, performed, cancelled, disabled, or waiting. That we can use to our advantage. So I have also in that same context thing these different events that are raised on, depending on if the action is started, performed, or cancelled. So let's just assign that real quick. We can simply do it by dragging this object into a callback context event, then doing raise with value or raise, but let's choose raise with value. Now this walking or not, it's just a text element, and you know how Unity Atoms works. It just calls stuff when the action is started and ended. So when we start walking, this text is set to walking. When we stop, it's set to not walking. Great stuff. We can also have a little dash every time the action is performed, which looks like wait 5 years, Oh my god. Why? Jeez. Okay, there we go. Which looks like this. And that was really easy to implement. Cool stuff. And best part is, of course, we can have these events called on things that, you know, aren't depending on the player. But you know, that's not mine, that's yours. That's Unity Atoms hype in itself. And of course, the whole point of this, we can create cars that still listen to this, that still react to changes in this player input. We can have UI that still reacts to changes in this player input. We can have whatever that still reacts to changes in this player input. So it's really cool. It's really part of the have prefabs do their own stuff kind of deal. So yeah, well, right now there's only 2 scripts. This is really more kind of a demo of the ID. It's by the way, the assembly is all nice and stable. If the input system isn't imported, this whole thing, these scripts won't import as well. I've made sure of that with a constraint. And that's it. There's really not more to say. I don't know why I said bum 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 bum.